Before we install this module, let's talk more generally about how we decide whether a module is a good one to install. The first criteria, of course, is that it solves a problem that we have. In this case, even though you haven't seen exactly what it does, Admin Toolbar holds the promise of more easy administrative navigation, which is something that we need. So the next thing we need to do is figure out whether this is a solid module, one that won't break our site or open up security flaws. There's a lot of information here on this module page, but if you learn how to break it down, you can quickly evaluate the health of a module. I typically look at about 5 specific factors, and if a module is good on 2 or 3 of those, then to me it's worth installing and experimenting with. The first thing I look at is how many sites are using this. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and there's this bold number here that says there's 12,000 sites currently reporting using this module. The way this number is reported is through the Update Manager module, which is the same thing that sends us emails if a new version of Drupal 8 gets released. So if that module is disabled, then it won't report any numbers to Drupal.org. So this number doesn't take into account all the people that have that module disabled. This number aggregates all of the different versions of this module across the different versions of Drupal. We're specifically interested in Drupal 8, so we can drill down a little bit more by clicking on this View Usage Statistics link. So if you scroll down up here, it shows us the latest measurement, and on the 8 branch, which is Drupal 8, it shows a full 12,000. For this, I look for any number more than a few hundred. If it's over 1,000, that's a very strong indicator that the module is healthy. I'm going to go back. The next factor I look at is the ratio of open issues to closed issues. And you can see right here under all issues, it has an open and total. So anything that's not open is closed. So there's about 100 closed and 25 open. This seems like a solid ratio. If more than half of the issues are still open, then that's an indicator to me that there might not be a lot of activity going on with the project. As I'm looking at this number, I'll also click on this total link and browse the titles of the issues that have been most active recently. So this page is called an issue queue. The more you work with Drupal, the more you'll get to see how useful the issue queue is and how to drill down to specific things that you're interested in. So these titles might not mean a lot to me, but they give me just a little bit more information about what's going on with the module and how recently it's been worked on. You can see that the last comment here is about 4 hours ago, which is very recent. So this is a good sign. The reds in this case are closed issues, so they're also usually a good sign. I'm going to go back. The third thing I'll look at is how recently a commit was made to this project. So you can see up here a list of the maintainers. The link here is to the profile for the maintainer. These are ordered by how recently they've made modifications to the project. So Romain G last made an update 3 weeks ago. This is also a good sign. I'm usually looking for activity within the last couple of months. Although there are some modules that are stable enough that they don't need updates to them to be very useful. At the point that I'm recording this series, Drupal 8 is still relatively new, so I would expect to see a lot more activity in Drupal 8 versions of modules. A fourth thing to look at is the reputation of the maintainers. So I'm going to click on Romain G here. And this gives you a little bit of information about them. You can see how long they've been a member for. This is how long they've had a Drupal.org account, which is something you should grab if you haven't gotten one already. And then down at the bottom is a list of projects that this individual works on. It looks like Romain has just worked on one project, Admin Toolbar. If I saw a list of projects here, to me, that would be a sign that this developer likely has more experience maintaining a module and developing it properly. That isn't to say that they can't if they're working on just one project, but if all I saw was one project here for the maintainer, I would look for other factors about the module to convince me to use it. All right, I'm going to go back. The fifth thing that I'll look at is the kind of releases that are available for the module. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. The releases are listed down here under the Downloads section. This module has 2 sections, Recommended Releases and Development Releases. Recommended releases are green, and they're basically a flag from the maintainers of the module that say, if you're going to download this module, we suggest using this release.